Chorus Apartments is a 71-home rental apartment, of which 20 homes are for people with intellectual disabilities and 51 homes are for the general population. It's the first purpose-built rental apartment in Surrey in over 3 decades. Chorus was built because the people that we support who have intellectual disabilities did not have housing options that everybody else in the community has, and we decided that we needed to ensure that everybody has the same housing options and that we would support people with disabilities to live like everybody else.
What that looks like on the ground is a project that is both affordable and inclusive. So I think those two pieces and finding a way to create those two pieces together was really a critical part of Chorus, and is ultimately the reason why it's been so successful.
One of the greatest benefits of Chorus Apartments is that it puts people with disabilities in a position of strength. Typically, apartments are built and then organizations like ours go and knock on doors and ask if it would be okay for people with disabilities to live in the apartment. We shifted that, and having it set up in a way that people with disabilities actually had first choice of their apartments and moved in first, and then welcomed the greater community, shifted things and gave people with disabilities a position of strength.
I had my daughter when I was 21 years old. She was born with some physical challenges. She has scoliosis and some other physical challenges, and she has a developmental disability. We were told by doctors when she was born, one, that we should put her in Woodlands, that they would do a better job. They were professional and could look after her, and that her life expectancy was early 20s. We chose not to put her in Woodlands. I actually said to the doctor, it's not a puppy. We don't take her back to the pound if there's challenges. And she's now 50 years old and doing very well. Tracy had friends that lived in group homes and friends that lived in home share. And she said she did not want either of those, that she wanted a place of her own. And that was it. There was no conversations about anything else except how she was going to be able to live independently.
You know, their vision was, I want to live in my own home and have people come in and provide me with help and support where I need it. So I use the essential lifestyle planning process, and that is a framework to really listen to people and the people who know and care about them, to gather information. That creates a picture of how somebody wants to live their life, how they want and need to be supported, really looking at a happy and safe life. Then from that picture, you're able to then create that journey and the path and the steps to get there.
Some people decided not to move into the apartment because we didn't have 24-hour security. They wanted a model that was perhaps more custodial than what we created. And so this model works well for people who want to live a full life in their community.
The board at Unity and the staff at Unity were going, really, how do we get from here to there? It's quite an overwhelming and a daunting prospect to go, we own 4 single-family lots, but what we want to create is a large, inclusive and affordable apartment building.
We got together regularly, community, families, people that were interested in moving in, staff, the organization, to actually talk about these fears and worries.
The first thing they did was divide us up. The family members went into one room. Our sons and daughters went away with one of the board members. What is your main concerns? Everybody came back, and lo and behold, the same conversation with our sons and daughters. They see their brothers and sisters moving away and moving out on their own, and they wanted the same thing.
When I was living at my mom's, my mom would do everything for me. But since when I moved here, I've been doing things on my own now without my mom. I feel happy, I feel proud, I feel, wow, this is me now.
One of the things that we were very attentive to was hiring a support team of people who really, they got it.
First emergency call I received, I remember being like so scared. I was like, oh, what happened? And then I answered, oh, yeah, anything I can help you with? I think my Xbox isn't working. Those are happy memories, even like in hindsight, because it talks about testing things out. Because a lot of the calls was more of adjusting to what a typical night will be. And sometimes some calls were just mere companionship and just having that somebody to talk to, over a cup of tea. So it's that communication amongst the team to be aligned with the fact that our job description would come from the people that we're supporting.
And then providing the support and coaching for the support team, having those connections and partnerships so that they are able to be creative and we're also ready for the uncertainty, right? And let's just walk side by side with people through this journey.
An apartment that is like a typical apartment with the supports that people need is clearly a model that has been successful, is successful, and is a model that we have phone calls on a daily basis of people who want to live in a typical apartment with support.
So I think that there's three key areas where funders can support housing. First would be through capital funding. If a project can receive capital grant funding, it reduces the overall cost of the project and therefore that can deliver affordability for the residents. The second one is financing. Are there ways to provide preferential financing for projects that are delivering affordable and inclusive housing so that the cost of that mortgage is less, therefore the rents can be lower? And then the third part is potentially to provide a portable rent supplement. So somebody who is living in a group home currently, it receives lump sum funding for both the accommodation and the supports. And it's all in one pot. Whereas if somebody moves out of a group home environment into a more independent living environment, they're in effect penalized because they now are only provided with $375 a month for the accommodation, for the rent or shelter side of the equation, and then the supports are dealt with separately.
I was hanging out with a few people that live here in Chorus. I asked people if they're happy and how are they enjoying life. And, oh, we love our apartment, everything. And I said, how many people want to move back home to their parents? No way! 100% across the board, right?
And I'm really happy that I'm out of there. I am I'm glad I got my own place. Even my brother and sister got their own place as well. And now I'm living their life as well. I'm living my life too.
Oh yes, I am very happy where I'm living now. And I don't want to go anywhere.
Oh yeah, you can't move me out. I haven't done nothing. No, you're not booting me out. I will stay here for the rest of my life.
What's most important is people are living the life they choose for themselves, right? People have opportunities of how they want to live their life. It really enhances and builds inclusion and a sense of belonging and people living ordinary lives in an ordinary neighborhood doing interesting things.
And I am so glad that we have moved from putting our children in institutions, to group homes, to home share. This is, I think, the new normal, and I'm glad it's here, and I'm glad that my daughter is able to live the new normal.